In this video, we want to create a listing page like this with all the listings and with the filters on this side. Take for example, on this particular website, this is actually a project I'm working on. You see that on this side, if I filter by cars, you see shows me just cars. But if I should remove those filters, you can see boats here. So this is a website for selling vehicles, whether boats or cars or planes or helicopters or whatever it is that can be used for movement. So we can filter them by make, but you have to first of all choose, because there are conditions on this. So if I choose machinery, and then you see it shows me just one. If I choose cars, I can choose the make, let's say Ford, and I get that one. But in our case, we are not going to make it a lot more as sophisticated as this. So we just first of all have to create a properties page, and then we're going to add these properties here. Now, before we go ahead, it's important that I show you one thing which I've added. If you've been following the entire series, if you go back to properties and click on edit to edit one of them, you see I've added these two fields. The first one is price, and then the second one is square feet. So we are going to use them as a base for our filters here. So what we need to do first of all is to go and create a properties page. I'm going to go to pages, add new, and then I want to name it properties. And then I'll publish this. I'll publish again. And then I want to edit with Elementor. It says could not be loaded. I'll just go back. Let me do that again. What could be the issue? Now, the reason we're having this error is because I use properties and there is already a slug for properties. This is it, which we are not going to be using for now. We're going to use property. So I'm going to remove this. I'll come back here. I changed it to property. Now I want to go to the settings and I want to make sure this is hide the title, and then this is Elementor full width. All right. Then what I want to do is I want to give this a flexbox container, and I want to make this to be full width, and I want to add another container inside here. So this is going to be the container. It's going to be, I could make this outer container, let's say, not full width, but I could make it 1400 or 1500. All right. Then this one inside, I'll make it 1500 still, which is not really full width. And then I want to add two containers inside here. I will duplicate this, and then I want to make this to be horizontally aligned. Then here, I want to make this one to be, let's say, 25%. This is where we are going to add the filters. Then here I'm just going to add the grid, listing grid. I'll just say grid, and then I'll choose, let's see, what did we name it? I'll just go back to the home page and pick from there. If I click on edit, if I click on this listing card item, I'll just copy, come here. I want to delete this. I want to paste that there. So we have these properties inside here. Now, if I should look at this on the front end, well, that looks good. And I could just decide to make this 20. So this is 20. And then we'll add the grid here. Now I'm going to publish that. So the first thing we need to do right now is to go back to our filters, smart filters. You need to install JetSmartFilters. This is it. If you want to install any of these plugins, I have a code for, JetEngine added in the description of this video. Please use it to purchase JetEngine and the JetEngine, the CrocoBlock suite, so that I make an affiliate profit. So go to smart filters. The first one we want to create, if we come back here, you see we have, we're going to start with price. Let's say price, because that's usually where a lot of people will start when they're looking for a house. So it's going to be a price, it's going to be a range like you see here. If I should go to the front of this website and I go to ads, you see we have this price range here, which when I slide, you see it changes. So I want to do the same thing here. I'll come and I see price, and I want it to be a range, and then the minimum value. We can do that dynamically, but I already know the minimum house here is $40,000. And then the max price, let's just say we want to make this to be 5 million, even though we do not have any house up to 5 million. And then the step is when somebody slides this, what should be the minimum movement? You see here it's, I think, about $500 or $1,000. These are cars. So for houses, when somebody uses a slide, it should slide by at least 10,000. The value prefixes, we can leave all of this, enable number of decimals, we'll just leave it as 0, separator, query variable. Now, since we are using price, I want to copy this, the meta key, which is also the query variable here. And for the filter label, we can see price or price range. Make sure to turn this on. You can still leave it off. Inputs available. We don't want input to be available. We don't want people to write their own prices. Let's just use it the way it is. So I'm going to update that. And I want to come back here. I'll remove this. I've added another container inside here. So there's this outer container that houses all of this. There is this container, and then there's an inner one. I want to look for slide. No, range rather. I'm going to look for range filter, and then that's it. I want to search for price. That's the price. So you already see we have that there, and then you can select, let it be JetEngine. And of course, if you want to show filter label, that's it, price range. You can also add additional options. I'm going to leave those the way they are. And then I want to come to stroke. You can reduce the thickness of this stroke. I'll leave it at 4. And then the color, I'll leave it to be, let's say, black. And then if I come to values, so this is for the slider itself. If I come to values, I can make this to be DM sans. First of all, let's say 15. You could increase that to 18. And then the width, 500. Let's just say 400. And then the family, DM sans. So you see that's DM sans. Let's just make this, let's say we'll make this 17. And if I come here, is there anything else I need to do here? Additional providers? No, I'm going to leave that. And if I should come to the body type, you could change all of these, the values. What about inputs? We don't have inputs, so we'll go to labels. I'm going to make the label to be DM sans. And I want to increase the size of that label. And I want to make it 500. And then the line height, you can increase it so that it gives it a space. All right. Then these values here, you can also change. You can reduce the line height. So I think that works for me. The next, I want to use the same, but this time around is going to be for size. Let's come here, size, which is going to be square feet. I'm just going to copy this, and I want to come back to filters, add new, and I still want to use range. I'll say property size, and then you can get this dynamically, but I don't want to mess up with this for now because it's going to really be difficult. So the minimum value, let's just say we have 50 feet, and then the maximum value should be, let's say 5,000 feet, which we don't have as yet. And then value prefixes, input enable, number of decimals, we'll leave it as that. Decimal separator, that 1,000 separator, comma. I didn't use the 1,000 separator on the other one. And then I'm going to paste the query variable here. And then I'll say property size. This is what is going to be shown on the front end. This here. All right. So I'm going to now come back to here, and I still look for, this time around, I'll remove it. I will see size. That's it, property size. And you already see. Now we can give this a suffix like square feet. I think we should be able to do that here. Square feet. Update. You may not see this right now, but if we preview this on the front end. Now, first of all, I want to give this a spacer of, let's say, 30. Publish that. And I want to view this on the front end. You can see square feet here. But what if I give this a space here and publish that? Let's see if it works the same as with the meta field. So you see, we have that there. So it's from 50 to 5,000. What if I just slide this? You see, it's already changing. You see, it's already changing. Now we have other meta fields which we can use. Take, for example, want to filter by number of rooms. For this, the best thing we can do, since this was, if I go back to JetEngine post types, and I come to search here, number of rooms, it was just a number field. The best thing we can do is to create a taxonomy for, create a taxonomy for number of rooms. Or we could, instead of this, we could make this select as number of rooms. And let's just say number of rooms, it should, instead of being a number, it should be a select field. And then we'll give it options like 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7. So I'll update that. Update again. Come now to filters. I'll come back to add new filter and see number of rooms. We could just say rooms, any of them. And then I want this to be select. And is it hierarchical? No. Data source. It should be custom fields. Select. Placeholder should be rooms. And then this custom field variable, can just copy this number of rooms. And I'll paste this here. And I'll also paste it here. Get choices from field data, yes. Field source plugin, JetEngine. Is checkbox meta field. Well, we can toggle that on. And then we'll just see rooms here. And if I publish that, so this is a select field, we could still have used it as a checkbox field. So if I should come here now, and let's say I want to put this in another container, delete this. First of all, before I go ahead with all of this, I just want to give this a little bit of styling. Or you know what, we'll just go ahead and finish this. And I want to say select. So this select filter. And I want to look for room, number of rooms, that's it. And then it should be JetEngine. See, we have number of rooms. You know what? I think we should have this as a checkbox instead. So I'll come back here and I want this to be checkbox. Yes, so it still maintains the same information we put here. I want to change this to checkbox. Custom fields, yes. Number, yes, that. I'll come back here. I want to delete this and I want to see checkbox, filter, and I want to look for room, Elementor. It should be JetEngine Ajax. So I want to show filter, and then I want this to be item, should be DM Sans. If I come to checkbox, the size is that. I can improve it. I can increase the size to make it a little bigger. Background color, you can make this black so that when somebody clicks on it, it turns to white. So the preference is yours. Checkbox icon, size, let's leave that. Label, I'll make this DM Sans, and then I can increase the size to that. Width 500. And then if I want to come to items, or come to item, make this DM Sans. Let's see, this is 15. So you see each of these now 15, and then the width 500. So we're going to use it as it is. So if somebody clicks on this, you see it turns that way. Now I want to view this on the front end. So if I click on 2 rooms, there's no property with 2 rooms. 3 rooms, none. 4 rooms, none. 5 rooms, none. This is a bit weird. All right, here is the issue. I have not applied them to any of the properties. So if I come now to properties and click on edit, I want to look for rooms. Now let's just say this is, no, I'll say this is 3 rooms. This should have been select, because here it's not supposed to be able to select more than 1 field. So this is 4 rooms. So hillside is 4 rooms. If I now come back to the front end, I'll reload this. If I click 4 rooms, you now see hillside. So that is that. Now I want to give all of this some styling. So this entire container, I want to give it border. I want to give the border shadow of this. I want to reduce the opacity. And for this, I also want to give it a border shadow, and I want to give it an opacity too, similar. And for this particular one, you could decide to give these ranges, let's say padding of 20, and let's just say you give them a background color of that. Then this, I want to copy this, and then I want to give this a background color of the same, and then I want to give it a padding too of 20. Now if I save that, and then I now come to the front end, you see how it looks. It looks really, really beautiful. And then if I reload this, you see it gives me these properties. So this meets these conditions for both. Let me remove this, and if I use this particular filter, you see it gives me these 2 properties. And if I just see, I want to click on 4 rooms. Normally, the way you do it is that you say 4 rooms and above, or between 0 to 4 rooms. So it's going to be up to 4 rooms. Or so if you click 1 room, a property that has 4 rooms is going to show. So that's how to configure it on the back. But I didn't want to make this a lot more complicated than it is. So that is how to add filters to your properties. There are a lot more we could add. Take, for example, we could add number of toilets, and we could do the same like we did here. We could also choose to use taxonomies, and then we'll create a taxonomy with toilets, and we use it to create a filter. Same with kitchens, same with nearby amenities, like you saw me do here. But I don't want to make this a lot longer. So just this, you know what? Let's go ahead and try to add the amenities. So this is the amenities, nearby amenities. I'll come to filters. I want to add new, and I want to look for, let's say, checkboxes. Data source is going to be a custom field key, this and this, get choice from field data, and it's going to be JetEngine. And then I want to see amenities. I want to name this amenities. It should also be amenities. Use default filter value. I'll leave that off for now. So I want to search for amenities. I'll just duplicate this, and instead of this, I'll search for amenities. For some reason, it's not displaying here. Amenities custom value. Let's see. It says union intersection is checkbox meta field. Okay, yes, it's a meta field. If I reload this, let's reload this. Still doesn't show the amenities. Ajax value. I'll go back. Use default filter value. Let me just put something here like 1. Custom fields, taxonomies. Okay, JetEngine. Let me use JetEngine glossary. Amenities instead. And this should be union. And I'll toggle this off. All right, so you can see the amenities now. We have the amenities here. So by checking each of them, if any property that has any of these amenities is going to show here. So that in a nutshell is how you add filters in JetEngine CrocoBlock for properties. Let's view this on the front end. It's been a while, right? So if I click on Wi-Fi, all of them have Wi-Fi. If I click on this, that. So the reason you don't see any difference here is because most of them will use all the same amenities. So you can use this for your client projects. If you have any question, please write them in the comment section. Like this video, share, subscribe to my channel. God bless you. Peace.